We're back here at the GSL versus the world. Right now it's match point here. Innovation versus Juanito, Special. This is going to be kind of crazy. I don't know. I think Special is a guy who absolutely can defeat Innovation, but it's going to be tough. On paper, Innovation's just better.
Absolutely, but a best-of-1 format, we know that Juanito loves to prepare his builds. He often has very good builds. He told us to call him the Candy Man because he delivers Terran builds to us. Now, in a best-of-1, there's a realistic scenario that Special takes this.
Absolutely, and 16-bit, I mean, this is definitely a map where a well-prepared build can win you the game.
Yeah, for sure. You got that pocket natural. You can abuse that as well. Play to the map's advantages and to its disadvantages. Really excited for this TVT. And Special needs to win it here for Team Maru. Well, Team Serral is just going to take it off the back of Innovation.
That's right. Special, an incredible player, but this is going to be a tough challenge. Everybody relying on him, on his team. Our game's loaded up. This is Innovation versus Special in the GSL versus the World Show match. In the bottom left, in the red, our Mexican player. He is
Special.
And in the top right, poised to potentially take it all for Team Serral. He is
Gaming TV. Innovation.
Raise your baguettes, O-Gaming fans out there.
That's right. Now, it's kind of weird because last year we had Innovation as the guy that nobody could touch. He was like unstoppable, especially in this tournament. Innovation's not in the finals this time around, but he is here to try to close it out for Team Serral with Special, our Mexican player, fighting back to keep this show match going.
And it was actually this matchup, if you can cast your mind back, Tasteless, that Innovation did have that dominant final in. It was that 4-0 in the TVT to finish things off. But Special, I like what he did with his early SCV here. Like, obviously, he's losing a little bit of mining time, delaying his scout a little bit, but he's just making sure that he's not being proxied here. As Innovation has shown the occasional disrespect, I want to call it, where you just put a couple barracks at the front of your opponent's natural and just, or out the front of their main, rather, in 16-bit, and really play the map's advantages here. But it looks like it is just going to be a factory follow-up for Special. All pretty regular stuff from him, but it is, of course, slowed down a little bit versus Innovations, who's a touch quicker.
All right, we got some love here for Juanito. I got to say, this guy's been playing forever. He was a great pro gamer back in StarCraft 1. I remember Artosis was practicing with him when he was like, when Special was like 14. He's basically been playing StarCraft his entire life.
Yeah.
Now he's out here in Korea, residing here for most of the time, practicing a lot with the Koreans. In fact, Special's play style really is similar to a lot of the top-tier Koreans.
No, you're absolutely right. Him and TY are actually very, very close in play style and in the way that they approach the game for sure. They are very, very big thinkers in the matchup. They're very, very awesome strategically. And, of course, both of them had the mechanics to follow it up as well. Now, Innovation went with the double gas build, so that means that his economy is little bit less as good as Special's, but that does mean that Special's going to have a later starport. It means he's going to have a later sort of, his tech's going to take a little bit to catch up here. But Innovation with this faster tech has the potential to do anything here. I mean, he could go for, an early Raven, early Banshees. There's a lot of options in TVT. It really is a pretty diverse matchup.
Okay, you can see Special scouting around the edges of the map saying, is Innovation hiding anything? Is he going to try to surprise me in any way? Now, Innovation actually playing just a very straightforward, fairly conservative game, to be honest, now getting that Raven out here. This may be a slower game to start things off. We'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean, kind of talked about it a little bit before we got into the match. That TVT kind of lends itself to a little bit of a, it rarely has a pretty explosive early game. Most Terrans will go for that, a couple Reaper opening with maybe a Hellion or a Cyclone, which is very, very good. Not only just getting yourself a little bit of map control, but keeping you safe in the early stages of the game. And because you have that pocket natural, it's tough to run by and pick off the SCV while you're expanding, or force the CC on the high ground or something like that, because very rarely you're going to get punished for this. Both players are, Innovation so far is getting his engineering bay here, because he hasn't actually seen whether or not there's a Banshee on the way, and he wants to get that just to make sure that he doesn't automatically die to a Cloak Banshee.
Okay, tank coming out now here for Special. I mean, you see two guys both go for Ravens. I mean, you can try to do some harass with the Raven, but it's nothing that's very committed.
Certainly not. The Raven really found its way into this matchup, and it's not something you really see massed anymore. It's just a 1 or 2. It's really a support unit. You can hit the Marines and armor shred them. You can also potentially interference matrix tanks to take them out of a battle, and they're also quite nice defensively as well with mobile detection, auto turrets. Very good selection.
Now we have stim being made here. You do want to watch in TVT if both players are getting enough infantry. Okay, so the player that gets stim first, if there's an engagement, he will win the fight. Stim is one of the best upgrades ever in all of StarCraft's history. It is so impactful. You really do have the ability to actually move out on the map and assert yourself when you get that stim finished up.
You're absolutely right, and so is Combat Shield, an extra 10 hit points for every Marine. Yes, please. Take that every day of the week. We're seeing a Liberator here from Special, and usually the Liberator here is not defensive when you make it this early. It's to try and hit those mineral lines, see if you can get some SCV damage done on across the side of the map. Both players foregoing the Banshee play and opted those Ravens and just having a bit more of a ground force. Scan here from Innovation. He gets his first look at Special's army.
Okay, and it looks like Special is going to come out on the map, taking that third base. Innovation, with Stim still on the way, is going to come down onto his low ground as well. TVT is a game that is so much about positioning, and a lot of times the fights are not necessarily over the expansions themselves, but over areas to get access to those expansions. So we see Special coming out on the map, making the command center on the low ground, and already passing through the middle area. He may try to poke in here and push Innovation up his ramp if he can manage to pull it off, and we see that is going to activate right now.
You talk about positioning here, and on that note, Special is also putting a bit more resources into making sure he has the air advantage here, getting a few more Vikings out, and he really wants to try and do some damage here. Raven on both sides with plenty of energy. It is so tough to engage until it kill a Terran, even as a Terran yourself. It is a hard race to beat.
This is pretty impressive. Special's already pushed Innovation away. Special Stim, by the way, way far behind. So what does Special do? He actually packs up and leaves, but there's no command center that was made on the low ground. So, I mean, this is a pretty good move overall. Special's command center is finishing up just now over at his third base, and Innovation's going to have to play a little bit of catch-up here.
Yeah, he was posturing. He was puffing up his feathers. He was sticking his chest out there, just like, you need to worry about my army right now, and meanwhile he takes a third behind it. Just very, very strong strategical play there from Special. So he has his third a fair bit earlier than Innovation. Innovation now moving out into the map to see if he can potentially become a threat here for Special. This Liberator, of course, we saw that earlier, trying to be used here for SCV, is currently idle. And Innovation's Reaper's leading the charge. Special through the smoke, sees that Stim Marine Ball and the push, and he needs to get ready with those siege tanks.
Okay, getting very close to the outside of that base. By the way, Innovation reacting very quickly in that counter push here, but the Liberator is setting up now, hitting some SCVs. Meanwhile, a huge push over here at the front of Special's base, disabling one of those tanks. The tanks of Innovations are sieging up.
And Special doesn't have Stim yet, Tasteless. This is an incredible timing for Innovation. Without Stim, his Marines are forfeit here. He cannot win this engagement at all. Medevac support also not a factor, so Special's trying to hold on the main, but his third is in big trouble.
So crazy. So 10 seconds away from Stim finishing, we have that Liberator going down, but Special losing this third base and possibly losing the command center as well.
Oh, that's devastating damage there for Special. We know that Innovation's third is about to finish up here, and there's no presence on the other side of the map anymore now that the Liberator's gone. Special did get a bit of worker damage done on the other side of the map. He does still have more SCVs, but losing that third really stings.
Again, it goes back to that Stim upgrade. Innovation with a timing where he hits right before Special Stim is finished, and Innovation already had Stim. It was a pretty bold move for Special to not only try to push out on the map earlier on, but also to end up taking out, taking that third base that he then couldn't defend.
Cute little move there with the Reaper to give him a little bit of high ground just out of siege tank range. Special identified the problem there and ejected that Reaper from his main post haste. He's just taking a little bit of shell damage there on that starport at the front of his ramp. And Special's just trying to take the skies back away from Innovation. A very cost-effective way to deal with siege tanks here is a Liberator and Viking combo.
Okay, it's 3 shots from a Liberator to kill the tank. The problem is Innovation is very quick to retreat, and he actually reorganizes. And as long as these tanks are here, Special's not going to be able to get a third base. Innovation's now reaping the benefits of that third base. Okay, great catch here.
Yeah, that's huge there, getting those medevacs, delaying that, denying that drop completely here. Innovation losing a good chunk of his army supply as a result. These Vikings really putting in work for Special, who again is just really pushing that air advantage. And with the air advantage, he can get rid of this contain and start to get this game back a little bit. But, oh man, his third is still so late. He's trying to retake it now, and that needed to be there yesterday.
This is kind of crazy here. Innovation has been mining from that third base for a long time. Special is sending a small drop out here, but that means he's going to have a little bit less muscle to try to take out this contain that he's under. He is paying attention to this Liberator here. Gets out of that turret range, and he's got a few mineral patches covered by this Liberator. Some Stim Marines are coming in here, but it's only the 3. It's going to take a little bit to get those Liberators, and this 16 Marine drop from Special. This time he has Stim. This is potentially devastating damage. No turrets here, or just the 1 turret, but out of range of these medevacs. Okay, this is a big deal. This drop here from Special is doing really well. He's already massacred about 16 SCVs, and the depots are going to be hit as well. The command center taking damage. He's stimming, getting under it, giving Innovation a little taste of his own medicine.
How do you like that, Innovation? Down goes your command center, and 18 SCVs. Critical damage here from Special. Not only getting back in the game, but I would even say taking the lead.
That was beautifully done. Innovation overstayed his welcome. It might have been wiser for Innovation, after having that contained for a decent amount of time, to pack up, go home, and get ready for an attack coming here from his opponent. Now Special gearing up to try to reclaim the low ground. The tank scrambling to get out of range of that Liberator.
They just make it out of there. This Liberator is really the only way for Special to get rid of this contain without just losing any of his very, very important tanks or bio units. Just edging closer and closer to the edge of his main. Innovation's really babysitting these tanks, keeping them out of that Liberation.
He really does not want to give up this position. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I mean, he has to, because if he leaves, or if he loses his army, then Special just takes that third base location, and his follow-up push is going to be pretty devastating. Also, Special is double upgrading 2-2 right now with Innovation, and only able to, at the moment, to get the +2 armor. This could potentially play a factor in the game as well as it goes on.
Okay, another attack coming up here, trying to target down that tank. Some Marines here from Innovation come down and save the day. Meanwhile, the contain goes on. Great job there by Innovation earlier. He stimmed, ran up, shot down the Liberator, and backed up. And for as long as this game goes on, it's still Special on 2 bases. It's just not enough. Even though Special has more supply, economically he's going to get further and further behind, and Innovation will take the lead.
Well, that was the edge there for Innovation, is that he had the freedom to be able to take that third on location again. Serral's had the, Special has had this CC for a while, but it's just producing SCVs. It's not on location mining for it. So you're absolutely right, Tasteless. This needs to get down here post-haste. He's got a lot more tanks than bio now. I think Special's going to try and break this. Here he goes.
All right, he's stimming it, coming forward. There's so much bio here from Special. No way for Innovation to hang on. Map control going to Special. Will he do a full-on counter push?
Oh, he certainly can. He could also just lock down that third. It looks like the aggressive option is going to be on the cards here for Special. He still has that army supply advantage. He's going to have an upgrade advantage soon as well with +2 armor finishing. Oh, Special certainly has time to be able to get across the map and potentially break Innovation's defenses here. It is tough on 16-bit, but with this Marine advantage, you could also drop it at the same time.
It seems like what Innovation's doing, it was smart, but he's just not quite utilizing the time that he has. He should know eventually those tanks were going to siege up. He was going to lose that spot, which means overall Innovation's tank count is actually lower now. So if it does come to a point where Special wants to push, it's going to be up to the Marines of Innovation to try to stim and kill tanks before they siege. Once Special gets a position set up, it'll be very difficult for Innovation to take it on.
And it looks like Special is not afraid of the late game here. He's like, all right, I've broken this contain. I'm going to take the map away from you, take the towers, have a presence on the map, try and get you away from these watchtowers. Of course, it looks like Innovation's going to take the one to the south, but Special has this big map control army here. Lots of tanks, looks like 5 with 6 tank on the rear there, with a bunch of Marines in contingent to defend them as well. Not too much medevac energy though, so a stim could be a little too bold here from Special. You cannot break that position here from Innovation, not very easily. Not without those Liberators and Vikings that he had earlier.
That's right. And Innovation, realizing that, decides to edge it a little bit further here. A small drop, or attempted drop, over here on top of the tanks.
Nice play there for Special. Gets 2 of the tanks. That's absolutely worth a few Marines there.
Okay. Very tense moment here for Innovation. He needs to hang on and try to drive this back. Now, the Viking count here is higher for Innovation. Remember, tanks can fire farther than they can see. So if you have those Vikings over there, the other player would have to rely on scans, in other words, not using mules, to try to get vision to get their shot off at the same possible rate that the player with the Vikings that have them to spot can. But it seems like Special's making a wise decision here. He says, I don't think I'm going to do much more with this. I need to back up and expand again, and so he's taking that fourth base as well.
And Widdermine here with his army as well. I wonder what that was for. Oh, we got 3-3 on the way for both players. Both players are pretty much on equal upgrades at the moment here when everything finishes up. Both players just posturing. See, Innovation's made an extra command center, and he's going to just drop that on the fourth location, so that can become a planetary. There's a weakness in the infrastructure of Special. He floated over the main base to be his fourth there, and that's not a planetary. That's an orbital tasteless. So if you get a bunch of Marines up in that, there's no way for it to fight back. It is a lot easier for Innovation to destroy that base and really punish Special than it is for Special to come up here on top of that planetary.
Oh, we have a small attack over here. I don't believe there's anything here to defend. Excuse me, a few Marines do come down and manage to drive that back. Meanwhile, Special trying to come in here at the top center, but Innovation with tanks there as well.
Yeah, Innovation covering his bases figuratively and literally here with his army. Nice clean up in that natural, and no way he's breaking that location there at the fourth base. So the planetary does finish up. Special and Innovation at a bit of a standstill here. Oh, Special smells an opening. The tanks are in range of his Marines.
He's got so many Marines down there, and it looks like as the air units fly away, Special is able to take everything down in that position. Liberators coming down, more tanks and Marines coming here to try to defend. Innovation needs to keep this fourth base alive at all costs.
Amazing decisive play there for Special, timing on those tanks before they were ready. His tanks are going to get punished with, though. Down they go. He still has these Vikings. Innovation is knocking back Special. Both players took a lot of damage there.
Innovation's managed to reclaim control on the high ground of this ramp. Is Special going to try to attack again into the same position? Or is he going to try to maybe go into the natural or hit from behind at another angle? Behind all this, Special is taking another base of his own in what has already been such an action-packed Terran versus Terran.
Yeah, and it looks like the upgrade's going to round out here for the bio units. Innovation getting plus to attack for his tanks, so that's going to make them hit a lot harder. Special not getting any upgrades for his tanks, so they're not as powerful. Oh, Innovation with his nice concave up here. His siege tanks helping him out a lot. He has a really good engagement there. Special taking a very bad trade.
You know, this game where Special ended up having a way huge tank lead, it's just been shut down. He's had so many unsuccessful aggressive engagements. Innovation now way ahead in tanks. The game seesaws back into him, now being able to choose what position do I want to try to pressure.
Yeah, Innovation is ahead now for sure. He's got a lot more army supply, and he has that extra base to the north being taken, so even if things go awry. Oh, speaking of going awry, Special driving on top of these tanks. Does he have enough to break through the tank line? Getting rid of these tanks is so important. These tanks have the upgrades. Special has these 3-3 Marines. Does he have enough to break through? No. A reinforcement attacks from Innovation. They're sieged up. They knock Special back to the middle of the map, but that was a nice catch from Special to at least cut into the siege tank count.
Dude, this game is insane. Innovation, though, ahead in supply right now. Looks like that SCV barely finishes the command center there in the center left at 12 o'clock. Innovation expanding as well. Innovation with a larger overall army is going to try to come out and start pushing these expansions away. Special needs to have perfect defense.
He does, but he's just got so little army supply now, Tasteless. Innovation nearly at 100 army supply. Special just over 50. And that means that he has a lot less tanks, a lot less Marines. And when you have more tanks and they're stronger, things look good for the blue Terran here as Innovation comes out. Orbital is talking about this is not a planetary. He could potentially lift it, I suppose, but look at how few Marines Special has versus the Marines and Vikings here of Innovation.
This is really nicely done. He's just on the edge over here. You can see Special's not quite sure what to do. It looks like he might try to come from behind here with a drop. The Vikings now hitting the command center.
Yeah, he's trying to float that away here. Reinforcement Marines here in Innovation. He sees that there's only a few tanks here for Special. He wants to go forward. Ooh, a little bit of indecisiveness from Innovation, but he has these Marines. Oh, he gets those tanks. Special is in so much trouble, Tasteless.
That's it. GG, Innovation takes it. And that means that Team Serral wins. Innovation reminding us why he was the victor in the last GSL versus the world. Beautifully done, but hey, Special really was holding his own. In some parts of that game, he was even ahead. But Innovation is too strong in TVT.
Showing off the mastery in TVT. One of the best, if not the best in the world at this TVT matchup. Brilliant play there for Innovation and a big win there for Team Serral. They get the extra cash.
Yes, indeed they do. So congratulations. Unfortunately, we will not get to see Sue versus Neeb, but at least we did see Maru versus Serral, right?
Yes, this is correct. And guys, that's going to do it for the show match. Kind of like the pre-show for the actual GSL versus the World Finals.
This was our warm-up.
This was just us. This was our caster throat clearing before the real games begin.
That final game was really good as well, though. That was an excellent TVT, and it really did feel that Special had a couple great moments.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he couldn't capitalize on a couple of the minor victories he had in the game. Especially, I think, we're sitting next to each other, Dan. Those 4 tanks that he kind of misrallied. Or
he had a great battle, and
yeah.
like they siege, and he's got 2 Red Marines with him.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
It's so sad. Otherwise, great game. Couple of really, really fun matches in this entire show match.
Indeed. Definitely some good games. Great performance from everyone. Looks like we're going to get into an interview with them.
Okay, so we'll go to that interview now, guys, and we'll be back with you in just a little bit.
You were able to achieve victory in this team battle, and you also won your match, and you contributed to the victory of the team. How do you feel about this team battle format that you team up with other circuit players and play as a team?
근데 너무 못했어가지고 너무 부끄럽고 너무 오랜만에 이렇게 팀 리그를 하다 보니까 너무 재밌었던 것 같아요. 그래도 신영 형보다는 좀 잘했죠, 제가.
So I feel very embarrassed because I didn't really play well. However, I was very entertained, and this was a very enjoyable experience teaming up with other players all around the world. But I think I played better than Innovation, right?
네. 자, 그럼 마이크는 이신영 선수에게 넘겨보도록 하겠습니다. 이신영 선수, GSL 월드에서 자 올해는 이신영 선수가 최고 자리에 올라서지 못했거든요. 세럴 선수에게 무너졌고, 그럼 오늘은 스페셜 선수를 잡으면서 승리 따냈는데요. GSL 월드 팀 매치 그리고 GSL 월드 경기를 펼친 소감 말씀 들어보도록 하겠습니다. 통역 먼저 할게요.
Although you lost to Serral in the singles tournament, you were able to achieve victory versus Special in the team battle. What is your overall critique about you attending the singles and the team battle in this tournament?
사실 어제 경기력이 좀 안 좋기도 했고 실수도 많이 하고 또 손도 좀 잘 안 움직여가지고 되게 아쉽더라고요. 좀 많은 걸 못 보여줘가지고 또 3대0으로 좀 무기력하게 져가지고 아쉬웠는데 오늘 세랄 경기력 보니까 어차피 질 경기였구나라는 생각이 들어서 위안이 좀 되더라고요.
I felt bad, and it was very regrettable that I messed up my games in the singles tournament versus Serral. My hands weren't moving as fast as usual. My reaction speed wasn't up to pace. But after watching Serral play versus Maru today, I understand why I lost, so it's okay. I feel nothing at this point.
그래서 이 세랄 선수의 그 강력함을 이신영 선수가 지금 인정을 해주고 있는데, 그러면은 마이크를 주정욱 선수에게 넘겨보도록 하겠습니다. 자, 이번 GSL 월드 팀 매치 펼친 소감 한 말씀 해주시죠. 통역 먼저 가겠습니다.
How do you feel about going through this GSL versus the world?
일단 이번 GSL 더 월드 스스로 개인적으로 기대를 많이 했었는데 좀 16강에서 너무 일찍 떨어지는 바람에 너무 아쉽고 앞으로 이제 GSL이 있으니까 그때 좀 기대 많이 해주셨으면 좋겠습니다.
I had high hopes and expectations coming into this tournament. However, I got knocked out in the first round, so I was very disappointed by that. But there are still GSL codes to go through, so please support me as much as possible, and I'll try to repay with a good performance.
네, GSL에서 기대를 하도록 하겠습니다. 그러면은 김도우 선수의 소감을 듣고 싶어요. 이번 GSL 팀 매치 그리고 이제 월드에서 경기를 좀 펼쳐보셨는데요. 어떠셨습니까?
How do you feel about both your singles tournament and your team match games in this tournament?
네, 우선 이렇게 해외 선수들과 팀을 같이 해서 팀 매치 경기를 했는데 너무 재밌는 포맷인 것 같고 이번 GSL 때 더 월드를 보면서 해외 선수들의 기량이 많이 올라왔구나를 느꼈고 저도 더 열심히 해서 이제 선의의 경쟁을 해야 될 것 같아요.
It was a very enjoyable experience teaming up with the non-Korean players to play in this team match. And looking over this tournament in general, I believe that the non-Korean players have improved substantially. And I felt like I have to grind my way through harder and put more effort into it so that I can show a good competition among them.
네, 고생 많이 하셨습니다. 이어서 켈라주르 선수와 이야기를 나눠보도록 하겠습니다. 켈라주르 선수도 GSL 월드 작년에 이어서 올해도 경기를 펼쳐보셨는데 월드 선수들의 실력이 좀 향상되고 작년보다 분위기가 좀 많이 달라짐을 느꼈는데 현장에서 직접 경기를 펼친 소감 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
This is your second attendance to the GSL versus the world, and there has been a significant improvement among the non-Korean players in terms of game performance overall. How do you feel about that?
Well, I think the foreigners are improving a lot. I'm just sad that I couldn't show what my worth was in this tournament alongside them, but hopefully next year TY will be here and I can win one match at least.
일단 비록 많은 외국인 선수들의 기량이 성장한 건 맞지만 저는 제 진가를 제대로 보여주지 못한 것 같아서 이번 대회에서 그게 제일 많이 아쉽고 내년에도 꼭 참가할 수 있어서 그 다음에 TY 선수랑 경기하고 싶습니다.
네, 멋진 모습 기대하도록 하겠습니다. 이어서 세럴 선수는 오늘 KR 랭킹 1위 조성주 선수를 잡아내면서 거의 에이스의 역할을 해주고 우승을 차지하셨습니다. 이 팀 매치 우승 소감 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
You were able to take down the opposing team captain Maru and it proved that you are the true ace of the team. How do you feel about winning this team battle?
Winning the team match feels great. I was very confident in my team and I'm very happy we managed to pull it off. I did win Maru as well, so I'm very happy with that, but I'm not too two-faced because it's just a best of one, so that doesn't really tell who's the best. So hopefully next time we'll have a longer series with him.
일단 팀 매치를 우승하게 돼서 상당히 기쁘고 그 다음에 비록 오늘 조성주 선수를 이기긴 했지만 이게 단판제였기 때문에 그렇게 크게 신경 쓰지 않고 나중에 다전제에서 조성주 선수를 상대하게 된다면 좀 더 치열하고 좋은 경기 보여주도록 노력하겠습니다.
네, 고생 많이 하셨고요. 이어서 립 선수는 오늘 경기를 펼치지 않았는데 팀이 이겨 있어요. 오늘 직접 나서진 않았지만 팀원들의 또 멋진 이 플레이로 우승을 차지했는데 우승 소감 말씀 들어보겠습니다.
You're the only one who actually didn't play in the team battle, yet the team members achieved victory for you. How do you feel about the overall team battle?
I think my team performed really well today. I think everyone played pretty much their best. I was a little bit disappointed that I couldn't play because I thought I could have definitely taken either Dark or Suit. So, I mean, that was sad, but our team played really good, so I'm happy with that.
오늘 경기를 뛰지 못해서 좀 아쉬운데 개인적으로는 오늘 이길 자신이 있었지만 뛰지 못해서 아쉽고 하지만 저희 나머지 팀원들이 상당히 좋은 경기력을 펼쳐줘가지고는 이렇게 우승을 얻을 수 있게 돼서 그거는 만족스럽습니다.
네, 그럼 이제 마지막으로 스칼렛 선수에게 질문을 드리겠습니다. 스칼렛 선수가 이제 팀 매치가 마무리가 되고 GSL 월드 파이널 결승전 경기가 펼쳐지게 되는데 세랄 대 김대엽 어떤 결과를 예측하고 계세요?
So the only remainder in this tournament is now the singles finals, which is Serral versus Stats. What are your predictions going into the finals?
Honestly, I was at home last night and some of the Koreans were practicing to prepare for Serral, but it didn't really impress me that much, so I think it'll be 4-0 or 4-1 for Serral.
김대엽 선수가 늦은 시간까지 한국 선수들과 연습한다는 소식을 접하긴 했는데 개인적으로는 그 데이터들을 봤을 때 그렇게 인상적이지 못했기 때문에 저는 세랄 선수의 4대0 완승을 예상합니다.
와! 자, 이 선수들이 이제 월드 선수들도 계속해서 대결을 펼치면서 이 자신감을 얻게 됐습니다. 다시 한번 멋진 경기를 보내준 선수들, 준우승과 우승 차지한 선수들에게 뜨거운 박수를 부탁드리겠습니다. 자, 선수들 잠시 뒤쪽으로 자리해 주시길 부탁드리겠습니다. 이제 시상식을
Alright,
진행하겠습니다.
guys, we are back. That was a fun show match. But enough messing around. It's time for the serious finals.
Ooh, the serious finals.
That's right. That's the
I like the
technical
sound
term.
of that.
Oh, guys, we've been doing GSL for almost 8 years now. It's great to have you guys here. We might have a non-Korean actually come out and dominate. But first, we're going to have a few words here from our CEO, the CEO of Africa TV, Kevin. And we're going to, we're actually going to pass the awards out so we can just keep talking during this. But
Okay.
yeah.
You keep going, Tasos. You got this, bro.
You're holding down the fort
I'm going to
so well.
solo cast this entire
this.
segment.
He's got a beautiful smile, nice jacket.
All right, so now we give Team Serral the prize.
Like, you know, that's the real perk of being the CEO of Africa TV. You get all the best team jackets.
That's right. That's true. You get to make those giant cardboard checks as well. So that's about $8,000.
Winners.
Winners.
That was really fun. I really enjoyed the match. I would have loved to see all 8 games being played out and potentially another Maru versus Serral, but it was a lot of fun. A couple of really good games.
Yeah.
And I think this was the better team overall. I think that both teams obviously quite evenly matched, but I prefer this team looking at it.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say so. It's just a little bit more solid overall.
And I mean, when you've got Rogue and Serral on one team, it's like pretty good.
Oh, look at the foreigner lineup too, right?
Yeah.
Like they've literally got the 3 most successful foreigners there.
That's
and
very
then
true.
and the other 2 Koreans like Zest and Innovations, like actually,
Yeah.
not 2 players I see easily lose either, you know.
Just a
So
couple GSL champs with a bunch of WCS champs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
yeah, I feel like everybody on that team must
They
have won
got 6
something.
WCS championships
Yeah.
trophies over there.
All right, guys, that's all the time we have for now. We are going to have the Stats versus Serral final coming up in just a little bit. Tell your friends to join us. It's going to be epic. It could be esports history in the making. All right, guys, stick around. We'll be right back here at the GSL with Stats versus Serral.